Hi everyone. Today in this presentation we'll learn about hard disk, how to check performance of a hard disk. Also we'll learn about RAM disk, how to create a RAM disk and related functionalities. For storage component in PC or laptop, there are two choices. One is hard disk drive, HDD, and another is the SSD, solid state drive. SSD is faster compared to HDD since SSD store information in microchip, whereas HDD uses mechanical arm to read from right location. Cost-wise, obviously, HDD is costlier than HDD. Next is how to check in a Linux system what disk storage in a storage drive we have, whether it is a HDD or SSD. In Linux, we need to check one file which store the hard storage information, whether it is a hard disk or SSD. So I will show you cat sys block sda q rotational. Output of the file can be 1 or 0. If it is 1, that means it is hard disk. So in my system, I am getting 1. So it is hard disk HDD storage. If it is 0, then it will be SSD, solid state drive. In my system, I will show my hard disk. So command is the df -h df command. So there are many, but main hard disk is dev sda6. So this is the hard disk I am using here in my system. So similarly, you can use this command df -h to check your hard disk. Now we will learn about RAM disks. What is RAM disk? RAM disk is a random access memory which computer software is treating as a disk drive secondary memory. Performance of RAM disk is faster than SSD or HDD since it is using computer memory. Application which needs faster read-write can load data in the RAM disk, so those application will get super fast query performance. Disadvantage is that if the system reboot, RAM disk data will be lost since it is a volatile memory. Now we will see how to create a RAM disk. First, before creating RAM disk, we need to check the available RAM in the system. In Linux, there are few tools. I will use tool free with option G, which will show the available memory in the system. So I have here available 3 GB. So out of 3 GB, I will create a big file, 1 gig file, 1 gig storage for RAM disk. Before creating the RAM disk, first we need to create a RAM disk directory, mkdir mount RAM disk. So I am creating a directory under mnt. So I need sudo permission, super user permission. It is created in mnt drive. Now we need to mount RAM disk, the RAM disk with the available RAM in memory. So there are two type of file system we can use to mount that. One is the RAM FS, which is old type of file system. Another is the TMP FS, which is the latest, and it has many advantages over RAM FS. So I will use the temp FS. So this command we need to use mount minus T templates file system. I will use 1 gig file system. So this command should create a RAM disk of 1 gig size. How to check that? The df command should show the size of the RAM disk. So it has created 1 GB file system of 0% in use. Next, we'll see, before going to next section, we can see how to make this permanent. So we can make this entry in that etc fs tab file to make this RAM disk permanent. So in a reboot also, this file system will be persistent. Second, we will see how to check the performance of a hard disk. So for that, we will use some tool, Linux tool DD. I'll show you how to create that. So currently, I am in root file system, which is mounted on dev HDS6. So here we'll create one gig file and see the speed. So I'll use DD tool, DD. So input I'll take from dev0 file. Output it will be same file system. HDS6. So this command should create one gig file in HDS6 hard disk. So currently, if you see, it was showing 52% use and used is 47 gig. Now we'll see, and it took around 226 MB. This is in 48 gig, and the size of file also we can see in 1 gig file it has created. And the speed we got 226 MB per second. Next, we'll create a file in RAMDisk and see the speed of RAMDisk. So I'll use the same command, dev0 output is to RAMDisk, and we will use the same parameter RAMDisk 1 gig file. This should create 1 gig file in the RAM disk. So here we are getting around 4.3 GB per second. So almost more than 20% or around 20% higher speed we are getting in RAM disk. So we'll see this is of RAM disk now. So this has created 98% of use. So this file is created in RAM disk. Now we'll see the speed of copying file from RAM disk to hard disk. We'll use the same command again. Output 1 gig. We'll create one more file and using the same parameters. This should copy file from RAM disk to hard disk. So here we are getting 175 Mbps, much lower speed since we are copying to hard disk. So in this presentation, we have learned about hard disk, our RAM disk, and how to test hard disk. Hope you have enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.